Treeline Lane. I'm Larry Marble. It's time for a big old heaping helping of ag information. You're listening to our program courtesy of the good folks at D&D Farm and Ranch on I-10 in Seguin. That's ddtexasoutfitters.com. Neighbor, let's take a look at corn, beans, and wheat, courtesy of John Tuggle, Tuggle & Company, Corpus. Thursday, sharply lower closes in the grains. The market recovered somewhat on Friday as corn ended up 7, beans up 25, KC wheat up 9 cents by the bushel. Now for the week, corn was up 1.5 cents, while beans were down 41. KC wheat was down only a nickel. Crude is finally higher for the day Friday, but currently only up about 50 cents by the barrel. Crop ratings in France and Germany continue to fall as the summer droughts there trims their production potential. We were in France and Germany in the springtime, and they were already irrigating really heavily. One of China's largest cities, Chengdu, with populations of 21.2 million people, remain locked down as of today due to COVID, furthering the market's concern about diminished demand for communist Chinese goods going forward. Today, or Friday's Bureau of Labor Statistics jobs report revealed over 11 million more available jobs than workers seeking jobs, which virtually guarantees more interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve. Texas Gulfport elevators will be closed through today for Labor Day. For help marketing your grains, it's 802-TUGGLE, Tuggle & Company, Corpus.
This is Channel 5 reporting live from the rangeland, where earlier today, a death was reported. I'm standing here talking to...
Mesquite.
Mr. Mesquite, what happened here today?
Well, Weesatch and I had been living on this rangeland. Every year the rancher would spray us with herbicide and we'd take a nice, long nap. But we always woke up.
What changed, Mesquite?
It's that Invora herbicide. The rancher used it with Rangeview to target his application. And now I don't think Weesatch is coming back.
I wouldn't think so. It's guaranteed
control for 5 years.
You heard it from Mesquite himself. Invora and Rangeview stop brush for the long haul. It's guaranteed.
Enter to win up to 100 acres of Invora herbicide with a free Rangeview analysis today at invora.com/trial. Always read and follow label instructions. Invora herbicide is a restricted use pesticide. Invora is a registered trademark of Bayer Crop Science. Not all products are registered in all states.
We're on the line with Phil Brockenbush at Giddings. They're one of the only ones that are having a sale here locally on the holiday. Phil, what's that holiday sale day looking like?
Oh, it's going to be light, Larry. You know, it rained a bunch around this week. If we'd have known that, we probably wouldn't have had one, but we didn't want to take the chance. But it was good, the rain, and I don't know, we'll have probably 500, something like that. Not many cows. There's a few strings of calves. There's 3 loads of calves coming right now, kind of some, sure enough, crossbreds, half-bloods, really.
Right.
It'll be about, 65 or 70 of them. But other than that, they're, ones and twos,
right.
But it's a good thing. We needed the rain.
Yes, sir. Well, so if you're going to be out of the pasture, out of the field because of the rain, head to Giddings, get some cattle bought. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
You can call me at 979-716-4395 or call the barn at 979-542-2274.
We appreciate you. Thank you. Have a good sale.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Larry.
Bye-bye. Neighbor, I want to remind you about my friends, Stephen and Terry Lehman at Lehman Pipe and Cattle. They've got used sucker rod in 5/8, 3/4, 7/8, and 1 inch, and they've got used oil field pipe, the #1 structural, straight, no holes, splits, or heavy scale, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 6 5/8, 7 5/8, 10 3/4, in 16 and 24 inch diameters. Also, from time to time, they see some #2 pipe available at a reduced price. Truckload discounts and delivery also available. They also have cattle guards. They make them from 10 foot wide to 30 foot wide, depending on the customer's needs and wants, with or without wings or cross gates. Also, the heavy-duty concrete beams to set them on. Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Email them at lehmanpipe@gmail.com or call Stephen at 979-966-3447 or Terry at 979-820-8155. That's Stephen and Terry Lehman, Lehman Pipe and Cattle. Neighbor, let's take a look at meat moves from Friday. Looks like the National Pork Carcass Cutout value for Friday afternoon, 102.25 after a 39-cent bounce. The bellies were still $8.62 weaker on the day at 137.04. Federal slaughter through Saturday, 2.350 million head. That was 55,000 below last week and 35,000 lighter than the same week year to date. Year-to-date slaughter slaughter is estimated at 83.016 million head, or about 3.5% of a decline from last year's pace. As we look toward the beef side of the equation, and wholesale box prices higher on the Friday afternoon report, a $1.35 bounce on choice, $1.99 on the select. Estimated federal slaughter for the week through Saturday, 638,000 head. That was down 40,000 week to week, but still 17,000 above the same week last year. The year-to-date slaughter figure, 22.745 million head, 1.3% ahead of last year's pace. I would have anticipated it to have been a little more ahead of last year. Neighbor, that's it for your meats here at Down on the Farm Radio's kitchen table. Ranch rodeos are always good fun, and on the line with me today is Russell Garza with the Family Ranch Rodeo Fest set for October the 1st in Comfort. Hello, Russell.
Larry, thanks for having me on today. It's good to be here. We'd like to invite teams from all over South Texas and the Hill Country to enter our ranch rodeo. It's got an 80% payout, added money, nice buckles and awards, and money for the top hand and top horse. So you are correct. We are set for the Family Ranch Rodeo Fest October 1st in Comfort.
I understand all the teams are going to like this because the format is just 4 head of cattle.
That is correct. They'll load one, mug one, and pin 2. So we'll have 2 long goes and a short go, bringing back our top 3 teams.
Russell, tell us how to get more information.
Larry, that's pretty easy. You can go to our website, ranchrodeo.org, or you can give me a call at 210-218-1756.
Russell, thanks for being on Down on the Farm. Look forward to it.
Thank you, Larry. I appreciate you.
Neighbor, now let's head to Lockhart and talk to Madison Bexley about the sale they had on Thursday. Madison, how'd the sale go?
Yeah, we had a pretty good day. We ended up with 701 with 119 cows and 22 bulls, 115 sellers and 73 buyers.
Walk the pins with us.
On the stocker cows, the market was much more active this week, thanks for the rain. On the pairs, we didn't have any real good pairs. A couple of the better end from 1050 to 1275. The mediocre and middle-aged pairs from 750 to 10 1/4. The good bred cows from 850 to 1300. The mediocre middle-aged and short-bred cows from 6 to 8 1/4. Packer cows and bulls would have been about steady with a week ago. The good high-yielding cows from 80 to 97.5. The medium-yielding cows from 65 to 79. The low-yielding and lightweight cows from 40 to 64. The good high-yielding Packer bulls from $1.02 to $1.12. The low, medium-yielding and lightweight bulls from $80 to $1. And the calves and yearlings sold really good yesterday. Most classes steady to a couple dollars better on a real active market. So all in all, it was a pretty good day.
Good. How much rain did y'all have there in Lockhart?
Well, it was kind of scattered. I had some customers that got 3 and 4 and some customers that got 7 and 8. And so anyway,
good.
Good rain.
Good. Now, next week, are you aware of anything?
I'm not. Hopefully we get some business drummed up between now and then.
I imagine you will. Tell everybody how to get a hold of you, Madison.
You can always check us out on Facebook, or you can call the barn at 512-398-3476. My cell phone at 979-540-9793. Or you can ring Bubba at 512-461-6091.
I think I'll ring Bubba just so I can say Bubba.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. We appreciate y'all. Tell everybody hello, and we'll talk to you next week.
Same to you, Larry.
Neighbor, did you know that the Millworks division at MG Building Materials is a great place to look when you want to upgrade your home? That division carries a full line of wood, aluminum, and vinyl windows. What a great upgrade. We've got vinyl windows in our house down here on the bay, and they sure are pretty from the inside and out. The possibilities for those upgrades are endless with the help of MG and their 5 locations. They've got one in San Antonio, got one in Corpus, got one in Uvalde, got one in Kerrville, and they have one in Pleasanton. That's MG Building Materials. Neighbor, now it's time for a feature from Texas Farm Bureau Radio. Kerry Martin is at the mic, and he's talking about rice here in Texas. Kerry?
A good rice crop in a dry year. I'm Kerry Martin with Texas News and Views on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. We watch the weekly crop condition ratings that come out from USDA each week, and most every crop has had very poor ratings this year thanks to drought. The one exception to that has been the rice crop. For example, last week in Texas, the rice crop was rated 41% good to excellent, 48% fair, and only 1% of the crop rated poor to very poor. Now, all of that rice is grown in southeast Texas, one of the wettest parts of the state. But rice farmer Paul Sleva in Matagorda County says he still faced a drought this year.
We're in a drought. I mean, probably only had 15 inches of rain, so it took a little bit more water than on a normal year to keep the rice, the crop watered up. But without all the rains, you have problems with rains come with levees and stuff. Anyway, it was a pretty good year as far as farming rice. Usually in a dry year, rice does better than in a wet year. Pollination being the main thing. You get rain during pollination, it hurts the crop bad. So as far as rice, it was a good year to farm rice.
And while many farmers would have loved to have had 15 inches of rain this year, Sleva says that's nothing compared to what he had last year.
Well, I can tell you, last year we had probably 90 inches of rain all year. I had 30 inches in May alone last year. Normally we get 45 to 50 inches a year. I'm guessing 15 inches is what I'm guessing. I've been keeping track because we haven't had much rain. So it's been dry. It's been hard, not just on the rice crop, but cotton, corn crops too.
Sleva says the drought was bad, but the high heat affected his crop more than anything. Women account for 36% of U.S. farmers and ranchers, and Texas has more female farmers and ranchers than any other state. Dee Dee Jones with Texas A&M AgriLife says she's working to make sure women are included as important members of our state's agricultural community.
I've been working in agriculture in the Texas Panhandle for about 25 years now, and I've noticed that on many family farm operations, it is truly a family type system where, the women are just as involved as the men. Yet when they go to meetings, I think a lot of times they find it rather intimidating because they tend to be in the minority in those meetings. And so I feel like one of the key decision makers in a family sometimes gets left out. And so that's why it's very important to me to involve them and have some of their own individual programs that they can take advantage of.
There are over 156,000 female farmers and ranchers here in Texas. I'm Kerry Martin on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
When we moved to Texas, we were like fish out of water. We didn't know anyone in our neighborhood until our Texas Farm Bureau insurance agent came to the house. She was so helpful and reassuring, a friendly face with that Texan hospitality I'd heard about. When we purchased a Texas Farm Bureau insurance policy, we knew we were making the right choice. We knew our family would be protected.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to find an insurance agent who's a true neighbor. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, since it's the Labor Day holiday and all of our livestock market operators are closed, let's go to Dr. Bob Judd in this edition of the Texas Vet Report. Dr. Bob?
If you have a pet in which your veterinarian has diagnosed ringworm, just treating your pet is not enough. Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning into Texas Vet News on the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network. I'm veterinarian Dr. Bob Judd, and it is not unusual for a pet to develop ringworm. Ringworm is not a worm, but a fungus, and it commonly occurs in young animals, especially kittens. Many people find a stray kitten or puppy and bring them home only to be surprised when those spots of hair loss on the skin is diagnosed as ringworm. Ringworm is successfully treated in most cases with various medications, and the only other concern is that ringworm is contagious to humans, so you have to be careful while treating the pet to prevent human infection. However, treating the pet is not the only concern, as the ringworm fungus can produce spores that can remain in the home environment and can be infectious to other pets and humans after the initial pet's infection has resolved. So not only do you have to treat the pet, but also must decontaminate the environment. Hopefully you have kept the pet isolated to one area in the home to make cleaning easier, but this is unlikely in most cases. A recent study was performed in 70 homes with ringworm-infected cats, and all of these homes were part of a foster program, so all pets were confined to one room. The rooms were cleaned of all visible debris and surfaces were wiped with a household detergent and a solution of bleach or accelerated hydrogen peroxide. Although 50% of the homes were negative for ringworm after one cleaning, some homes required 3 cleanings. So the point of today's program is always have your vet examine a new animal to make sure there are no infectious agents present, and always confine a new animal to a small area in your home until this exam occurs. Thanks for listening to today's Texas Vet News. I'm Dr. Bob Judd, and this is the Texas Farm Bureau Radio Network.
Texas Farm Bureau Insurance has protected fellow Texans with auto, home, health, and life insurance since 1952. With more than 260,000 square miles of land and 27 million people, that's a lot to cover. Whether you're wrangling cattle or wrangling kids, we're proud to protect Texans in all Texan ways of life.
Visit Texas Farm Bureau Insurance today at tfbinsurance.com to get insurance for Texans by Texans. Coverage and discounts are subject to qualifications and policy terms and may vary by situation.
Neighbor, here's a shorter look at the grains, courtesy of John Tuggle, 361-852-5207. Milo through Corpus in September, D's plus 90, 13.50. Yellow corn to Corpus in September, D's plus 170, 8.35 3/4. Hard red winter wheat to Houston in September, D's plus 120, 9.97 1/4. And number one beans to Houston, September delivery, November less 15, 14.05 1/2. Texas cotton, 1,680 bales at 108.52. Neighbor, let's celebrate labor today. Happy Labor Day. See you tomorrow.